Join us on this epic adventure from the UK to Argentina and back in 65 hours. Welcome to Aviation Source. The next 65 hours will take me from London Heathrow to Madrid, and then from Madrid we fly onwards to Buenos Aires in Argentina, and then after a 28-hour layover we then go back to Madrid before carrying on to Manchester, where we end the trip. The purpose of this trip was to try out the brand new Next cabin on the Airbus A350 from Iberia, with the airline giving us an opportunity to try out their new premium economy and business class cabins. So, without further ado, let's get started on this adventure, starting at London Heathrow. Checking in at London Heathrow was very fast and straightforward. I was flying business class for this portion of the flight down to Madrid before changing over to premium economy there. With fast track being part of the ticket, check-in to getting past security only took a few minutes, which enabled me with more time to get some shots around Terminal 5 and to prepare myself for the start of this 65-hour journey. Before we knew it, it was time to get on board. Iberia flight 3171 would be the first of 4 flights on this journey, with the first stop being in Madrid. Pushback began not long after boarding. For this journey, I was in seat 5A for this journey down to Madrid, which took less than 2 hours total flight time. After a long taxi to the other side of the airport, it was time to depart from London Heathrow's runway 27 left. Be sure to turn your sound up for that engine noise on the A320neo. Not long after departure, cabin crew handed out menus for this short flight down to Madrid. I opted for the roasted chicken breast, and for dessert was the white chocolate and lime cake. The meal was absolutely sublime and definitely put me in good stead for our arrival into Madrid. Not long after meal service had concluded, our descent into Madrid commenced, producing an incredible view of the city nearby at night. Take a look at this awesome nighttime landing into Spain's largest airport.
crew, take your seats for landing.
The second flight of this adventure was on board Iberia flight 6841 between Madrid and Buenos Aires. This flight was being operated by ECNVR, a 1.5-year-old Airbus A350-900 aircraft. Boarding commenced at around 11:45 p.m, and I proceeded down the jet bridge to my premium economy seat on board the Iberia Airbus A350-900. The flight took around 12 to 12 and a half hours in flight time down to the Argentinian airport. I took to my seat, being 12A, and strapped myself in for this very long flight down to Buenos Aires in a premium economy cabin. On the Airbus A350-900, there are 24 seats of this particular tier, configured in a 232 setup. Boarding was very quick, and before we knew it, we had initiated our pushback and taxi out to the active runway at Madrid, with us being the last few departures of the night. Enjoyed this incredible sound from the Rolls-Royce Trent XWB engines on the A350 during our takeoff. After departure, I had the chance to play around with the in-flight entertainment whilst we were awaiting our meal service. Unfortunately, the map kept crashing the in-flight entertainment, so in this case we were only limited to selecting films, TV shows and audiobooks. Iberia does have a strong range of choice, which would keep anyone entertained for a 12-hour flight down to Buenos Aires. Iberia provides an amenity kit alongside a pillow and a duvet in a premium economy. In the amenity kit there are earplugs, toothpaste and a toothbrush, as well as an eye mask and socks. And then it was time for our evening meal before bedtime. I opted for the roast chicken breast served with celeriac mousseline and sautéed spinach served with bread, followed by strawberry mousse for dessert with red wine and water. Around 10 hours later, we were not far away from the descent into Buenos Aires. I had quite a relaxing sleep in a premium economy seat, getting around 5 to 6 hours in between periods. The only downside to the seat is that if people are reclining their seats in front of you, as well as having someone next to you sleeping too, you can't really get up to go to the bathroom. Luckily, I had quite the strong bladder. Around an hour and a half before arrival into Buenos Aires, cabin crew came round with a sweet and savoury duo, which consisted of a ham sandwich and a Kit Kat, followed by drinks of your choice. I opted for water and orange juice on this occasion. Not long after the breakfast service, descent commenced and we got treated to incredible views of cloud formations on the descent, followed by an overall scenic landing. Enjoyed the landing that I experienced into Buenos Aires. arrived into Buenos Aires a few minutes late. However, this marked the halfway point in this incredible journey so far. My verdict is that the premium economy cabin on board Iberia's Airbus A350-900 is a strong product and definitely makes those longer flights that much more bearable. We arrived on stand into Buenos Aires and we proceeded to disembark and head down to customs before exiting the airport and catching a taxi to our hotel. Our hotel was the Hilton in Puerto Maduro. The hotel was absolutely excellent and was a great base of operations for my 28-hour layover in the city. Once I freshened up and got showered, it was time to see the sights, which you will be able to see over the next few minutes in this video. After a fun and very quick 28-hour layover in Buenos Aires, it was time to head back to Ezeiza for our next flights to Madrid and Manchester airports. Priority check-in and fast-track security worked incredibly well for what was a very hectic Ezeiza airport upon entering the terminal. As a UK aviation enthusiast, seeing movements from Argentina can be quite a rarity. So it was brilliant to see all of the unique flights that operate to and from Ezeiza in the form of plane spotting for a few hours before it was time to board my third flight to Madrid. And just like that, it was time to begin our journey home, with our flight to Madrid beginning the process of boarding. The next 12 to 15 hours back to Manchester would all be done in business class, adding a layer of comfort to the second stage of this extreme travel journey. I boarded EC NXC, another one of Iberia's Airbus A350-900 aircraft, for this flight northbound to Madrid. EC NXC is a one-year-old Airbus A350-900 that was delivered to the Spanish carrier back in December 2022. My seat for this flight back to Manchester via Madrid was 7L. Iberia offers capacity for a total of 31 business class seats on the A350, which are in a staggered 1-2-1 configuration. Once again, boarding was completed very quickly and pushback and taxi was once again on the cards. Iberia's boarding process across the board has been quite efficient unless delays to the departure occur. We got to the holding point of the runway at Ezeiza and waited for a KLM Boeing 787 and JetSmart A320 to land before being able to backtrack and blast off back to Europe. A key difference between premium economy and business is that in business you can hear the Trent XWBs even better. So without further ado, enjoy this departure out of Buenos Aires. After departure, I got the opportunity to take a look at the amenity kit and the in-flight entertainment on board the business class cabin. As for the in-flight entertainment, it was the exact same, except the interactive map worked and the screen was bigger. For me, I always like to know where we are, so it produced a nice touch once again on board having that map. The only difference in the amenity kit to that of premium economy is that you get hand cream, lip balm and facial mist from the company Germain de Cappuccini, as well as the other standard items you would get in premium economy. You get a much comfier blanket and pillow with a bed sheet to cover the seat when you are lying flat. Not long after departure, it was time for the meal service on board the flight back to Madrid. I opted for the bresaola dressed with basil and sun-dried tomato cream for an appetiser, before moving over to the oven-baked chicken breast with paprika and lemon sauce, complemented with some wine, whiskey and water. This food was absolutely stunning on board and once again tasted very fresh thanks to the choice in catering company by Iberia. Once dinner service was concluded, it was time to try out the lie flat bed on board the business class product. By simply just clicking one button, the seat automatically reclines to the lie flat position, which then enables you to set up your bed and get ready for sleep. I think there have been issues for passengers using this over the last 12 months, as the panel to move your seat has been pretty scratched up already, so some maintenance will be needed on that front. Once the bed was set up, it was time for bed. Once again, we will see you in a few hours for our arrival back into Madrid. I woke up about 2 hours before arrival time, which enabled me to have a quick croissant for breakfast with some orange juice and water. Then once that quick service had concluded, it was time to commence our descent into what was a very rainy Madrid. Not long after, we touched down. Enjoy this video of the landing into Madrid on board the Iberia Airbus A350-900. We vacated the runway quickly and proceeded to Terminal 4S for the final time on this trip for my flight down to Manchester Airport to conclude the trip. My ride for this short flight back was on board ECLYE, one of Iberia Express's Airbus A320 aircraft on flight IB3692, which placed me in seat 3A for the journey back. Not long after boarding, we started our taxi and then subsequently departed out of Madrid, where I opted to get some sleep as I wasn't feeling too hungry and just wanted to get home. So what is the verdict on a premium economy and business class cabins on board Iberia's long-haul products? Well, the premium economy is definitely a strong product for such flights, but little issues such as the seat reclining by passengers in front of you as well as next to you doesn't offer a great experience if you need to use the bathroom. That being said, however, it was very pleasant for a 12-hour flight. As for the business class, it was a good product in itself, but it only does the job. There are plenty of other carriers out there that provide a more enhanced product offering, but with the main fuss being the ability to sleep producing strong results, I would fly Iberia again in either premium economy or business class. We landed into Manchester after around 2 hours of flight, concluding this epic and fast-paced adventure from the UK to Argentina and back in 65 hours. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.